You might think that blood rain is the craziest natural phenomenon in the world, but you are wrong. It only ranks ninth. The number one phenomenon is known as the ruler of the skies, and when it appears, an entire city can disappear without a trace. Blood falls from the heavens and the ground begins to smoke. You might think this is a scene from a science fiction film, but it is not. This is the wild reality of planet Earth. From tsunami clouds sweeping across the horizon like enormous waves of the apocalypse, where falling into them does not mean drowning, but turning into a stone statue at Lake Natron. Or the powerful supercell storms, single-cell monsters capable of piercing the peak of Everest and flattening entire cities. This planet can be so absurdly wild that even science itself shakes its head and says, "I take no responsibility for this." In today's video, join Top 10 Global as we explore the 10 strangest natural phenomena on Earth. Each one is crazier than the last. Remember to subscribe, like, and share to support the channel. Number 10. Lake Natron, the River of Stone. In the desolate lands of the East African Rift Valley lies a terrifying body of water. Any creature that wanders into it turns into a cold, stiff stone statue. As if cursed by the deadly gaze of Medusa from mythology, life freezes in an instant. The color of this water is even more disturbing. It looks like a thick lake of blood, releasing a strong breath of death. This is the deadly river Natron. Along the shores and at the bottom of Lake Natron lie scattered stone statues of birds and small animals. Some appear to be drinking, some in mid-flight, but all signs of life have been taken. What remains are bodies covered in white ash, rough and stiff like dry cement. These rigid figures silently tell the story of the deadly power within these waters. The petrifying magic of Lake Natron actually comes from the nearby Old Doinyo Lengai volcano. It is the only active volcano on Earth that erupts lava rich in strong alkali. Volcanic ash and lava flow year-round into the low basin of Lake Natron. In this extreme environment, only a special species of red algae can survive. The pigments from these algae dye the water a bright crimson red. So what would happen if someone accidentally fell into this river of frozen blood? The lake's water has a pH above 10.5, making it the most alkaline lake in the world. If a person steps in, the strong alkali quickly destroys the protective layer of the skin, leading to rapid dehydration and loss of electrolytes. The saturated minerals, such as sodium carbonate in the water, crystallize and harden quickly on the body's surface like quick-drying cement. In a very short time, a living person could become a limestone statue covered in a greyish-white crust, forever frozen in the twisted posture of their final moment of life. Lake Natron is a deadly land created by volcanoes and microorganisms. It uses its blood-red water as a warning, its strong alkali and mineral salts to end life, turning intruders forever into stone statues along its shore. Its existence might just prove that the story of Medusa was never truly a myth. Number 9. Blood rain and the mystery of the cosmos. You have probably heard the saying, rain and bloodshed, often used to describe a dangerous and violent world. In it, blood rain means blood falling from the sky like rain. People usually associate it with bad omens, but have you ever seen real blood rain? In July 2001, a strange red rainfall poured over Kerala, India. The rainwater fell from the sky as red as blood. And what was even stranger was that it continued intermittently for nearly 2 months. Locals were terrified, believing it to be divine punishment and that the end of the world had come. Although the blood rain itself did not harm the human body, the psychological impact it left behind was immense. Clothes soaked in red looked like crime scenes, puddles on the ground looked like pools of blood, and the entire world seemed wrapped in a crimson haze. The visual and mental shock, along with the deep sense of unease it caused, was more intense than any disaster movie, making people feel as if they were witnessing a true omen. Under such a terrifying sight, even the most determined atheists shuddered at the blood falling from the sky. So where did this blood rain really come from? Scientists debated fiercely. At first, some speculated that a meteorite had exploded in the atmosphere, coloring the rain with its dust. The Indian government's report dismissed this theory, concluding that it was caused by red algae spores. But the conclusion of two bold scientists, Godfrey Lewis and Santosh Kumar from Mahatma Gandhi University, shocked the world. They claimed to have found strange tiny red cells in the rainwater. Cells that had no DNA, yet could reproduce rapidly at high temperatures in the laboratory. Even more astonishing, they declared that these cells did not originate from Earth, but from outer space. This alien life theory exploded like a bomb, shaking the global media and turning blood rain from a bizarre weather event into a cosmic mystery about Earth receiving biological signals from space. To this day, it remains an unsolved enigma. Was blood rain simply a frightening trick of nature, or did it truly contain living cells from beyond our planet? The mysteries of the sky may be far more extraordinary than we can imagine. Number 8. The Skyhole Rainforest. Hidden among the towering mountains of Lai County, Guangxi, China, are more than 20 enormous sinkholes, each hundreds of meters deep, with no visible bottom. These are not ordinary pits, but vast gateways into the heart of the Earth that seem to swallow light itself. What is even more astonishing is that when you descend to the bottom, a primordial rainforest, isolated for millions of years, reveals itself, as if you have traveled back to the age of dinosaurs. This is not a movie scene, but one of the most mysterious and breathtaking natural wonders in the world, the Skyhole Rainforest. Each sinkhole spans more than 100 meters across and plunges hundreds of meters deep, some reaching depths of over 600 meters. Standing at the edge and looking down brings instant dizziness, as though a colossal mouth of darkness is tearing the Earth apart. Yet, at the bottom lies a hidden world, a rainforest untouched by time. There are winding streams, bottomless caves, and traces of wild animals such as leopards, making it feel like stepping into a secret Jurassic realm. Layers of fern-like plants cover the ground, with flowers and vegetation growing densely everywhere. Some life forms may have taken root here millions of years ago, and even the smallest insect could belong to a species unknown to science. Because the walls of these sky holes are almost vertical and razor-sharp, reaching the bottom is nearly impossible for ordinary people. Even professional explorers must descend slowly on ropes for hundreds of meters, sometimes taking more than 10 hours for a single journey. As a result, very few have ever seen the full view of this hidden world. For this reason, some call it the isolated paradise that belongs only to Earth. This wonder was born from the region's unique karst landscape. Guangxi sits on a vast layer of limestone, which dissolves easily in water rich with carbon dioxide. Over time, this process creates underground rivers and caves. As the caves expand and their roofs thin, they eventually collapse, forming massive sinkholes, the so-called sky holes. At the bottom, rainwater and fertile soil collect, and sunlight streams directly through the vertical opening like a precise incision made by a scalpel. This creates a unique microclimate, allowing an underground greenhouse rainforest to flourish inside this enormous natural well. For cavers and biologists, the Skyhole rainforest is a lost world on Earth. Every descent into its depths is a pilgrimage into the planet's unanswered mysteries. It is not only a miracle of geology, but also a miracle of life. When we gaze into this endless green abyss, perhaps we should remember that what truly deserves our curiosity is not only the stars above, but also the vast, unknown world beneath our feet. Number 7. The tsunami cloud in the sky. Above the vast northern coastline of Australia, a massive wall of cloud stretches endlessly across the horizon, rolling low and wide. It is not a vertical cloud, but a colossal horizontal tube, hundreds of kilometers long and towering like a skyscraper. It looks like a runaway train in the sky, or a giant cloud serpent from mythology coiling and pressing against the horizon, crushing everything in its path. This is the roll cloud, fearfully nicknamed the tsunami cloud of the sky. Those who witness it cannot help but feel an overwhelming pressure, as if the heavens are collapsing and enormous waves are about to strike the earth. The madness of the roll cloud lies in its apocalyptic beauty and its terrifying presence that feels like an omen of the end. First, its scale is utterly despairing. stretching for hundreds or even thousands of kilometers, and thick for hundreds or even a couple of thousand meters. It appears as a moving wall, a living beast of cloud hovering low above the ground. What shocks observers most is its motion. The entire cloud rotates steadily along its horizontal axis like a giant rolling cylinder, slow, heavy, unstoppable, and advancing with immense force. Inside, air currents surge violently, holding tremendous energy. While the roll cloud itself does not always bring the fiercest storms, it often marks the deadly aftermath of a massive weather system that has just passed, or the vanguard of an approaching extreme front. Seeing one means that powerful winds, storms, hail, or other severe conditions may soon follow, or have only just swept through. The oppressive feeling that comes when the sky changes color, when mountains of rain seem about to fall, is what makes this phenomenon so frightening and awe-inspiring. Standing beneath a roll cloud, you feel smaller and more vulnerable than ever. The sunlight vanishes, the sky darkens in an instant, the wind howls wildly, and the air turns cold and dry. The sensation of a living, colossal mass above pressing down is enough to make even the bravest person tremble. It serves as a reminder that before the immense power of the atmosphere, we are nothing but dust beneath the sky. Number 6. Fish rain, the gift from the sky. Bread falling from the sky might sound strange, but thousands of live fish raining down is truly terrifying. Imagine a peaceful afternoon, the sky bright and clear, when suddenly dark clouds gather and heavy rain begins to pour. But this time, mixed with the rain are countless living fish, wriggling and leaping as they fall from above. Silver-scaled bodies slap onto rooftops, streets, and fields, flopping everywhere you look. This is not a joke. It is a real fish rain taking place before your eyes. In the city of Yoro, Honduras, and surrounding regions, this bizarre seafood shower occurs almost every year between May and July. It has been nicknamed the #1 crazy express delivery of nature. Although there have been reports of animal rains around the world, such as frog rain or spider rain, none are as regular or large scale as the fish rains of Yoro, which have become a true global phenomenon. It has even turned into a celebrated annual event in the city. Whenever the fish rain begins, locals rush outside with buckets and pots to collect fish and bring them home to cook. For them, the falling fish are not a strange event of nature, but a free dinner sent from heaven right on time. Children laugh and chase fish through the streets. Elders joke while gathering their catch, and the whole town is filled with a festive atmosphere that feels halfway between a miracle and everyday life. So how do these fish end up in the sky? Science offers a convincing explanation. When powerful storm systems form over lakes or oceans, strong upward air currents can develop into water spouts, tornado-like funnels connecting the surface of the water with the clouds above. Acting like giant vacuum cleaners in the sky, they spin at incredible speeds, sucking up large amounts of water, along with fish, into their swirling cores. As the storm travels inland, the water spout carries its living cargo high into the clouds like a flying transport vessel. When the water spout loses strength or moves over land, its suction disappears. The fish and droplets caught in the vortex lose their support and fall back to the ground together with the rain, creating the mysterious spectacle known as fish rain. Number 5. The black chimneys of the deep sea. Imagine the freezing depths of the ocean, thousands of meters below the surface, where eternal darkness reigns. Suddenly, the seabed splits open, revealing monstrous wounds. From these cracks, thick black smoke bursts out, roaring like the breath of a creature from the underworld. But this is not real smoke. It is a deadly flow of superheated seawater mixed with toxic minerals, which instantly solidify in the cold depths into towering chimney-like structures. These are the black smokers of the deep sea. They stand tall across the rift valleys of the ocean floor, like gateways to hell hidden in the most remote places on Earth, releasing the stench of sulfur and spewing a strange current that bridges destruction and life. The madness of these black smokers lies in how they overturn the basic rules of life, creating oases in a world of darkness. Here, There is no sunlight, only eternal night. Freezing seawater near the point of ice collides violently with superheated fluid hot enough to melt rock. The environment is filled with hydrogen sulfide, heavy metals, and toxic compounds, making it one of the most hostile places in the solar system. The black chimney itself is a living sculpture of minerals, constantly growing and changing. When the hot fluid meets cold seawater, metal sulfides such as pyrite and chalcopyrite precipitate and accumulate rapidly, forming tall dark towers that continuously collapse and rebuild, some reaching heights of tens of meters. What is most astonishing is that in such an extreme environment, life does not retreat but thrives. Blind shrimp dart through the hot streams, armored crabs crawl across mineral surfaces, and strange mollusks and starfish inhabit this deadly realm. Though there is no sunlight and no photosynthesis, a vibrant and unique ecosystem flourishes in the dark. How does life survive in such a place? The answer lies within the giant tube worms that have no mouths or digestive tracts, yet host thousands of symbiotic bacteria inside their bodies. These bacteria convert chemical energy from the earth into nutrients through chemosynthesis rather than photosynthesis. A completely new food chain, sustained entirely by the planet's chemical and thermal energy, is established here. Each time humans discover a new black smoker ecosystem, it feels like setting foot on another planet, revealing just how limitless and extraordinary life's adaptability can be. Number 4. The deadly ice pillar. Beneath the frozen surface of Antarctica's seas, in the deep, icy darkness, a massive, pale grey column of twisting ice stretches downward. It pierces through the depths of the ocean at a speed visible to the human eye. Wherever it touches, sea creatures like starfish, sea urchins, and worms instantly freeze, becoming eerie ice sculptures, locked in their final poses, as if touched by the finger of death itself. This is not science fiction. It is a real, deadly phenomenon known as the Brinnacle, or the finger of death. It is nature's coldest and most merciless curse, formed in the freezing depths of the Southern Ocean. The deadly ice pillar looks like an upside-down stalactite or a massive spiral column covered in a fragile outer layer of porous ice. Inside, an extremely cold, dense, and saline liquid flows like poison. It grows downward from the bottom of sea ice at a rate of several centimeters per minute, greedily reaching toward the seabed. Wherever it extends, the relatively warmer seawater around it freezes instantly. Sea creatures caught in its path are flash frozen within seconds, preserving their final movements in a chilling underwater cemetery of ice. In its path, the Brinnacle creates a zone of absolute death. No creature escapes. It is often described as the Medusa of the ocean, though far faster and deadlier than any myth. But how is this frozen reaper born? When sea ice forms on the surface, the freezing process pushes out most of the salt. The leftover brine, extremely cold and dense, begins to leak from the base of the newly formed ice. This supercooled, highly saline liquid, denser than the surrounding seawater, sinks downward like thick toxic blood. As it descends, it rapidly absorbs heat from the water around it, freezing the less salty seawater in its path. This creates a fragile ice shell that guides the downward flow, allowing the icy finger to extend farther and farther toward the seafloor. The Brinnacle grows like a living organism, freezing everything it touches and spreading death across the ocean floor. Though humans rarely encounter it, witnessing the sheer precision and indifference of this natural force, one that kills without hesitation or mercy, leaves an unforgettable impression of how terrifyingly efficient nature can be. Number 3. Volcanic lightning. You have seen lightning in storms, but have you ever seen lightning strike from a volcano? This is not a cinematic effect, but a real, natural wonder. When a volcano erupts, molten lava shoots into the sky, carrying with it vast amounts of volcanic ash, rock fragments, and steam. Within this violent collision of particles, enormous electrical charges build up as they rub against one another. Then, lightning tears through the sky amidst thick plumes of smoke, like fire from the heavens erupting straight out of hell. Scientists call this phenomenon a dirty thunderstorm. Unlike ordinary lightning, which forms from rain and ice, Volcanic lightning is created when ash and rock fragments generate static electricity through friction. As the charges build up, they eventually discharge in explosive bursts within the volcanic plume, a deafening crack of thunder, a blinding flash, nature's own fuse igniting within the lava. One of the most famous volcanic lightning events occurred at the Fuego volcano in Guatemala, where dozens of lightning strikes per second were recorded during its eruptions. In 2022, the eruption of the Tonga volcano produced the most intense lightning activity ever observed in human history. This spectacle is more than a breathtaking sight. It also serves as a natural warning system. The appearance and frequency of volcanic lightning can indicate the scale and intensity of an eruption. Scientists can analyze the brightness, duration, and density of lightning flashes to determine how high the ash plume rises and how powerful the eruption is. Volcanic lightning is both nature's alarm bell and one of its most spectacular performances. The fury of a volcano and the wild dance of lightning together weave one of the most awe-inspiring scenes on Earth. Number 2. The boiling river of the Amazon. Deep within the steamy heart of the Peruvian Amazon, a river as wide as a 4-lane highway stretches for nearly 6.5 kilometers. It roars and steams, sending clouds of white vapor into the air, blanketing the jungle in mist. Step close and the heat hits your face. The air smells thick with sulfur. Dip a hand in the water and it burns instantly. The river's temperature can reach 93.9 degrees Celsius or higher. This is no hot spring. It is a real river, constantly boiling. It can cook any creature that falls into it within minutes. Fish, frogs, even unlucky monkeys that slip into the water are scalded to death almost instantly. This is the boiling river that has stunned both explorers and scientists. Locals speak of it with fear and reverence, calling it the flowing river of hell in the heart of the Amazon. Its madness lies in how it completely breaks human understanding of rivers. A deadly forbidden zone hidden within the planet's greatest rainforest. Far from any volcanic activity, the existence of such a large, endlessly boiling river defies conventional geology. Watching living animals struggle and quietly cook in the scalding water is like looking straight into the gates of hell. Though scientists have offered a general explanation, the true mechanism of its heat source and how it maintains such extreme temperatures remain a mystery. The most widely accepted theory is that deep geothermal fractures in the Earth's crust act like natural heat exchangers. According to this idea, in certain regions of the Amazon rainforest, deep faults or weak zones exist beneath the ground, like wounds in the earth. Rainwater seeps into these fractures and travels deep toward the mantle, where it is superheated by geothermal energy. The hot, high-pressure water then rises rapidly through cracks and fault channels, and when it finally emerges at the surface, it mixes with cooler river water. The massive difference in temperature and pressure causes the river to boil and release great plumes of steam. The boiling river is the Earth's secret wound, hidden within the folds of the Amazon rainforest, a place where the planet's inner heat bursts forth as liquid fire. Its endlessly steaming current defies all logic, turning one corner of this tropical paradise into a deadly, forbidden land of heat and mist. Number 1. The supercell storm. At dusk across the Great Plains of North America, a wall of dark clouds more than 50 kilometers wide races forward at 100 kilometers per hour. Its peak pierces the troposphere, towering higher than Mount Everest. Hanging below it is a massive funnel 5 kilometers across. This is not an ordinary storm, but the most violent weapon in the Earth's atmosphere, nature's ultimate engine of destruction. When it strikes, hailstones the size of baseballs can smash through roofs. Tornadoes with winds of 400 kilometers per hour can flatten entire towns, and lightning flashes up to 20 times per second, turning the night sky ghostly white. This is the fiercest living storm engine on Earth, a fiery forge of the apocalypse, burning above the clouds. At its core spins a vertical vortex 10 kilometers wide called a mesocyclone, like a giant drill stirring the atmosphere. The ominous, flat, anvil-shaped cloud at its summit signals impending disaster, spreading out to cover an area up to 400 kilometers wide. about the distance from Sydney to Canberra. Why is it so terrifying? Because it is a perfect storm engine. Warm, moist air collides with cold, dry air like two opposing forces. Wind shear twists these layers into a rotating death machine. The updraft inside can reach speeds of 260 kilometers per hour, hurling raindrops high enough to freeze into hailstones the size of grapefruits. Even more frightening, it can sustain itself for over 6 hours, feeding and regenerating like a perpetual storm machine. If you are unlucky enough to encounter one, the sudden drop in air pressure can make your eardrums ache. The sound of hail hitting the ground roars like machine gun fire, and the tornado's suction can tear asphalt from the roads. The supercell storm is the doomsday symphony of the atmosphere, a furious dance of water, fire, wind, and lightning thrown into a colossal centrifuge. When this cloud dragon, hundreds of kilometers wide, glides across the plains, we are reminded that humanity is nothing more than a fragile audience, lucky to survive on the surface of a raging planet. And what boils within that fiery forge above the sky is the raw, untamed power of nature, a force that no civilization can ever control. Among these 10 terrifying natural phenomena, which one frightens you the most? Leave a comment and let us know. Remember to subscribe, like, and share so you never miss the next video. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next one.